U.S. officials are telling foreign leaders not to take President Trump's tweets on foreign policy seriously. That's according to the Washington Post, which reports that the conversations happened at a security conference in Munich over the weekend. Have you heard about this? According to the reporting of the Washington Post and others, U.S. officials spent time during the conference decoding the president's tweets, which sometimes contradict his own advisors. Rich Edson's at the State Department. Europeans say they're still getting used to Trump diplomacy as they're being told, ignore his tweets. Is that right?
Well, Shep, they're still trying to navigate U.S. diplomacy during the Trump administration. The German foreign minister, Sigmar Gabriel, summed this one up when he said, quote, "Maybe this could explain why we Germans in particular are so perturbed when we look across the Atlantic, because we no longer recognize our America. Is it deeds? Is it words? Is it tweets? We should look at to measure America." Other European officials tell us that they've learned to rely more on what State Department officials and other American officials are telling them, but they say they understand that the president is the boss here, and they certainly don't want to be the subject or have their governments be the subject of presidential tweets. President Trump tweeted a year ago that Germany owed the U.S. and NATO vast sums of money. In reality, Germany is just spending less money on defense than the NATO target. Early on, President Trump refused to explicitly endorse what's called the Article 5 part of the NATO treaty that essentially says that any NATO country that's attacked, the other countries will come to its defense. That was while the Secretary of State and other U.S. officials were reassuring European allies that the U.S. commitment to NATO was ironclad. And then eventually the president did come out and say that the U.S. is committed to NATO. The president has feuded publicly on Twitter with Great Britain's prime minister, with London's mayor. There are also part of this relationship, and Shep, while all of this is going on, are ongoing negotiations now where the president disagrees with the Iran nuclear deal. He wants Europe to change the posture on that. And so the U.S. is working with these European governments, but they all acknowledge that it's a little bit different under this administration, Shep.
This concern goes beyond Europe, though, does it not?
Yeah, it goes well beyond Europe. In capital cities like Beijing, certainly across the Middle East, there were the tweets over the summer that the president did to criticize Qatar on terrorist financing. This was all while the Secretary of State was trying to work with Qatar to end that blockade that's still ongoing in that country there. The president just a couple of months ago also tweeted criticism against Pakistan. That prompted an emergency meeting in Islamabad among senior members of the Pakistani government. And then shortly thereafter, the Trump administration did announce that it was suspending aid against Pakistan. So sometimes those tweets can preview a significant policy change, Shep.
Rich Edson at the State Department. Thank you, Rich.